For nearly 3 centuries, it stood as the definitive edge of the Roman world. A slash of stone and turf across the neck of Britain, Hadrian's Wall. We've seen the ruins, the low weathered foundations creeping over the dales. We've tried to imagine it manned and mighty, but until now, our imagination has fallen short. What was it actually like to stand on that wall, to live in its shadow, to serve upon it? Today, we're not just imagining, we're rebuilding. Using cutting-edge AI and archaeological data, we are reconstructing Hadrian's Wall in stunning, immersive detail. And what we found changes everything. Welcome to the most formidable frontier of the Roman Empire, brought back to life. Let's begin at the wall itself, at its highest point near Housesteads' Roman fort. Forget the lonely, broken line of stones you see today. In the early 2nd century AD, this was a staggering statement of power. AI reconstruction allows us to see it not as a relic, but as a living, breathing structure. The wall towers above us, a crisp, whitewashed limestone barrier soaring 15 feet into the sky. A narrow timber-planked walkway runs along its top, protected by a crenellated parapet. Every Roman mile, a small fortlet, a mile castle, breaks the line. Its gate, a controlled choke point for traffic. And ahead to the north, the empire drops away into a wild, patchwork landscape of dense forest and rolling hills, the territory of the unconquered. Standing here, you can feel the precarious divide between order and chaos, between the Roman ideal and the untamed unknown. But the wall was more than a barrier. It was a bustling, militarized superhighway. A military road, the Via Principalis, runs just south of the curtain, a ribbon of packed gravel churned by constant traffic. Imagine the sound. The clopping of mule hooves, the grind of cartwheels bringing supplies from the supply depot at South Shields. A century of legionaries, 80 men, marches past in tight formation. Their segmented armor clinking rhythmically, their scarlet cloaks a vivid slash against the gray stone and green moorland. They are heading for their post. They are not all from Italy. Our AI models, based on garrison records, show a soldier from Gaul, another from Syria, a cavalryman from Spain. This was a border defended by a microcosm of the empire itself. Now, let's step down from the wall and into the heart of the machine, Vindolanda. This fort, just south of the wall, is a revelation. Before the stone wall was even built, this was a key stronghold. We've peeled back the centuries to reveal its earlier timber phase incarnation. We walk through the massive double-timbered gates into a precisely ordered world. Barracks blocks line up with military efficiency. In the central headquarters building, the Principia, clerks meticulously update records by lamplight. The air is thick with the smells of wood smoke, leather, and baking bread from the granaries. What's remarkable here is the density. Within these few acres, nearly 1,000 people lived and worked: soldiers, officers, slaves, and their families. It was less a remote outpost and more a volatile, self-contained town. And thanks to the miraculous Vindolanda tablets, those thin, handwritten wooden notes, I can now populate this fort with stunning human detail. We can see the commanding officer, Flavius Cerealis, reviewing troops in the courtyard. Over in a centurion's quarters, his wife, Sulpicia Lepidina, is planning a birthday party. An invitation sent to a friend at a nearby fort. In the workshops, a soldier writes home to ask for more socks and underpants to combat the brutal British cold. This reconstruction allows us to witness not just grand strategy, but daily desperation and domesticity. The frontier was built on stone and discipline, but it survived on letters, on camaraderie, and on warm woolen socks. The story doesn't end at the fort's walls. Just outside, a sprawling civilian settlement, a Vicus clings to the fort's protection like a barnacle to a ship. This is where our reconstruction gets truly lively and, frankly, muddy. The main street is a chaotic, bustling thoroughfare. Timber-framed shops with Waterland daub walls lean precariously over the churned earth. A blacksmith's hammer clangs against iron, forging nails for the next patrol. In a tavern, off-duty soldiers gamble with dice, their laughter loud and sharp. Traders hawk goods from across the empire: Spanish olive oil, Calic wine, Samian ware pottery with its distinctive red gloss. The population here was fluid, opportunistic, a mix of locals, veterans, and traders drawn to the economic engine of the army. But life here was fragile. The AI doesn't just show us the prosperity, it reveals the inherent dangers. We can simulate the ever-present threat. From the wall's walkway, a sentry spots movement in the tree line to the north. Alarm trumpet blares, a sound that turns the blood cold. Within minutes, the fort's gates slam shut. Soldiers rush to the ramparts. In the Vicus, chaos erupts as civilians scramble for the safety of the fort's walls, knowing they might be the first target. The Reconstruction shows us the stark reality. For all its engineering might, this frontier was a tense, nervous place. The peace was always conditional, maintained by vigilance and, when necessary, brutal force. Our journey along the wall reveals its clever, adaptive design. We move west, where the initial construction was in turf and timber. The AI visualizes this brilliantly massive, grass-covered rampart, still formidable but built for speed. We then come to one of the great bridges, crossing the river Irthing at Willowford. The reconstruction here is breathtaking. The bridge isn't just a crossing. It's a fortified stone statement, with the wall itself continuing across its spine. Looking down, you see the river swirling around the massive stone piers. This was a critical node, controlling not just land, but water traffic. The scale of logistics it supported is humbling. Every stone, every piece of grain, every replacement spearhead had to travel this network. Finally, we look at the wider system. Hadrian's wall wasn't a line. It was a deep zone of control. To the south, a wide, flat ditch, known as the Vallum, creates a forbidden military zone. To the north, beyond the wall itself, a series of deep pits and a berm, the Sippus field, slows down any advancing force. And further north still, outposts and watchtowers extend the empire's eyes deep into what is now Scotland. The AI panorama shows this integrated system in a way a map never could. You see the wall not as an isolated feature, but as the centerpiece of a layered, intelligent, and deeply expensive defensive landscape. It was a profound investment, a statement that here, Rome would dig in. So, what did we find by bringing the wall back to life? We found color where we saw gray. We found deafening noise where we assumed silence. We found a multicultural, anxious, vibrant community where we pictured only lonely legionaries. The reconstruction reveals the wall's true nature. It was a sieve as much as a seal. A place of constant exchange of goods, of ideas, of people. The frontier was permeable. Cultures mixed here, languages blended. A local Briton might supply grain to the fort. His son might enlist as an auxiliary soldier, and within a generation, that family would be Roman. The wall defined a border, but it also created a unique, hybrid world along its length. Standing here today, amid the wind-swept ruins, it's impossible not to feel the ghost of that scale, that ambition. If we could witness this firsthand, the overwhelming impression wouldn't just be of military might, but of profound human endeavor. The labor is staggering. Millions of man-hours, countless sacrifices, all to build and maintain a line in the earth. For the soldier from Syria, this damp, cold frontier must have felt like the end of the earth. For the local trader, it was the center of his economic universe. The AI lets us hold both those truths at once. It lets us see the grand strategy and the chipped pottery bowl in a cramped barrack room. This is more than just a digital model. It's a gateway, a tool that allows us to ask better questions to test theories about movement, line of sight, and social interaction. It makes the abstract concrete. I didn't know nearly enough about the sheer density of life here, the thriving, muddy, smelly, vibrant economy that existed purely because of the army's presence. The wall didn't just keep people out, it pulled people in. It created a new world in its shadow, a world we can now step into, explore, and finally begin to understand. Hadrian's Wall was Rome's most iconic frontier. Now, thanks to AI, it is no longer a silent monument, but a speaking one. It tells us stories of cold centuries, of homesick letters, of bustling markets, and of the constant, watchful tension between an empire and the land beyond its grasp. We've brought it back to life, and in doing so, we've found the humanity etched into every stone. What ancient world should we rebuild next? Let us know in the comments. And imagine, if you can, what we might discover when we do.